Warning, if you do not want to catch giant Florida bass, do not watch this video from beginning to end. But if you do want to catch giant Florida bass, then watch this video from beginning to end. But if you only want to catch dinks for the rest of your life, then you should probably shut this video off right now. Now let's get into this video with a nice saucy intro with giant Florida bass, because Florida be on recruit mode. Let's go.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look at that bass. I don't even know if it's all in the camera. Oh. Tank. Absolute tank. Absolute stud. Oh, it's heavy. Another big one. Just can't say no to that chatterbait. Look at the camera, smile. Welcome to Real Journey. Today on Real Journey, we're going to talk about the 10 best Florida baits for catching giant Florida bass. And we catch a lot of big bass on this channel. I like to think we catch more than most. And I will just say that I should have made this video a while ago, because I bet you a lot of people want to know about this. Now, some of these are going to be no surprise to any of you, but one or two really might throw you for a loop. So let's get started. I'm also going to have examples if I can find the footage, because I've been filming YouTube videos for just barely over a year. So all of these catches are going to be in the last year, but I might not be able to find the footage. I've caught giants on all of these baits. I haven't looked yet, so let's find out together. First, I'm gonna go with the chatterbait. I've caught a lot of big bass on the chatterbait, a bunch of fatties, a bunch of big long ones, just all kinds of big ones. I should be able to find plenty of footage of catching one on one of these bad boys. This is just the original chatterbait. I've used other ones. I do use other ones. I do use different colors. I use bluegill pattern. I use quite a few colors, actually. I use white, but this is all white and chartreuse with a silver blade. You know, that's a good one. I will say that the spinnerbait doesn't make the list, but a lot of guys will throw the chatterbait or the spinnerbait. And so I prefer throwing the chatterbait, but I have caught giants on this as well. So this is kind of an honorable mention. It kind of goes with the chatterbait. You fish them in the same situations, generally speaking. And so spinnerbait, chatterbait, that's kind of a given. That's number one on the list. And if I have a clip or two for the chatterbait, I'll show that now. Look at that hook set right in the side of the mouth. That's a good bass. All right, so what should I show next? You know, we're going to keep it in the obvious family. Okay, we're going to go prop bait. So I want to save the surprises for y'all. We're going to go prop bait. All right, so prop bait. We're talking whopper ploppers. We're talking Berkeley Chappos. And we're talking... Oh, it's stuck in my cloth. Dang, treble hooks. The Guggen Revolver. Man, I love this little guy. What's great about this is it's as big as it is, right? And it still only weighs a ½ ounce. So a lot of these, you know, the Whopper Plopper 90s and the Berkeley Chapo 90s, they're about this long. So this is a little bit longer, right? And it still weighs like the same amount as them. Whereas a lot of other baits that are this prop baits that are this big, they're like an ounce and a quarter. and you're just like chucking a bomb out there, and it's just like it's too much. It's too much for me. This is great for Florida. You go to somewhere where it's like shallow grass, where the bass just aren't absolutely pounded, and there's tons of big bass like Fellsmere or out there Headwaters, Kenansville, some of those places. You chuck around one of these bad boys, you're gonna get slammed. Definitely have a clip of getting slammed with this. I've been fishing with this particular one for a little over 6 months. This is actually, I caught my PB topwater bass on this, and I just absolutely got slammed, and I'll show that now.
Holy cow! Oh, jeez! Oh, this is a big fish! Oh, it's a big fish! Oh! Jeez! Oh, he's digging! Get over here! Get over here! Oh, baby! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Look at that bass! I don't even know if it's all in the camera. I'm leaning back as far as I can. That's a freaking monster bass right there. Holy cow. Freaking giant. Unbelievable. Oh, man, I hope the camera has a good shot of that. That is a freaking giant bass. On that Guggen revolver, baby.
So yeah, I got slammed. I've been meaning to make a video. I actually filmed me making like 50 catches with this bait over the course of months, and in the hopes to make a video just about this bait, and I never have gotten around to it. So I'm shouting it out now. This is good, and I love the Whopper Plopper 75, that little sucker, and I love the Berkley Chapo 90. Those are all great baits. I think the Berkley Chapo 90 is better than the Whopper Plopper 90. A lot of people love those Whopper Ploppers, but I think the Berkley Chapo 90 is better than the Whopper Plopper 90. But that Whopper Plopper 75 has that little fat profile. I think that's better than the Whopper Plopper 90. So I feel like the Berkley Chapo 90 and the Whopper Plopper 75 are pretty evenly matched. And then this guy is just a tank. I love this one. This one probably is my favorite. And if you're a Guggen, there's a lot of people that don't like Guggen baits, but you know what? This is a good bait. And, the Catch Company, I believe, is the company that actually makes it. And it's a little different. It's a little different than other prop baits. But it chugs up the water better than both of those other ones. And so when you're looking for that aggressive bass, you're looking for that reaction, you're going to get slammed with this bad boy right here. So, Guggen revolver. Trust me. Trust me. All right. So we fished with the chatterbait. We fished with this. All right, let's stay in the obvious family for Florida. We're going to stay topwater. Now, I almost didn't put this on the list because I don't think I've really fished with this in the last year. But you know what? If I don't put a frog on this list, someone is going to try to fight me at a boat ramp. And I don't want no problems. No, I might actually be in a bad mood. I might have been skunked on the water and I might be ready to go. So just to avoid that whole situation, I'm going to shed some light on some frogs here. Which one is this? This is a Spro. So we got a nice little Spro frog right here, good little frog. We got the Booyah little Toad Runner Jr. So it has this kind of boot tail in the back, and so it becomes like a prop bait. This is a little prop bait, but it's weedless compared to the treble hook. So that's a nice little bait. And then this is probably my favorite. The reason you don't see me fishing these hollow bodies is because I have tennis elbow, and you really got to jam those hooks home. You really got to set that hook hard. And I don't want to deal with it. See, it just popped right there. Like, I have tennis elbow. It's serious. But this right here, the Horny Toad Bullfrog by Zoom, there's a bunch of other soft plastic ones. See, I only have one left. I've used these. I will say that this is probably my favorite frog. This is probably my favorite frog. There's some other good ones, but this is a nice little frog. it just buzzes up that water real nice. So horny toad, we got to have a frog on this list. There it is. There's my frog. I did it. I appeased you all. You know, don't fight me at the boat ramp. I did it. All right, moving on. Okay, so this is also no surprise. This is actually what I call my PB bass on. So I don't know if I have a big fish catch on the frog. I know I have fish catches for the other ones if I found the footage. But I don't actually have a big fish catch from this year on a frog because, again, I don't really throw it. But I put it in there for you. But this, a speed worm, and not just zoom. I mean, I do love zoom. This is the ultra vibe size. This is the smaller size. This is black sapphire ultra vibe size. This is the exact bait I caught my PB on, and I'll show you that in a minute. But you know, this is also ultra vibe size, green pumpkin. Most places it's probably June bug red, black and blue, black sapphire. Those are probably your best baits. You know, the green pumpkin, a lot of situations, really not my favorite. It's got to be really clean water. Usually I get bit better on June bug if the water is a little on the cleaner side. Or maybe it just has a slight stain. You know, Florida has a lot of water that has some stain to it. Or it's a little dirty or a little muddy or this or that. You know, I'll throw some chartreuse on there. And then zoom the Magnum speedworm. So this is their bigger one. But I did catch my PB on the smaller one. I say my average bass on the bigger one, you know, it's above 2 pounds. You know, so not bad. I've caught some big ones for sure on this. I've probably caught some 6 or 7 pounders on the Magnum, but I caught my PB on the ultra vibe size. And just so we don't leave out the Florida bait itself, Gambler Baits, pretty much any bait they make is, you could make your own top 10 list with just their baits. They know what Florida baits are all about. And this is their burner worm. It's the same thing as the speed worm. It's just a little bit different. It actually has a really good garlic smell and taste. So those bass will hold on to this for sure. So that's a good one. And this color is actually nice. Copperfield. You know, we got golden shiners down here. So gold color is another sleeper color, you know, in the right situation. And bluegill colors, right situation. Those are money down here. That's a fish. Oh my goodness, it is a big one. Oh, it's a giant. It's a giant, guys. It's a giant. Oh, it's a freaking giant. Oh, get over here. Oh, oh, God. Look at that fish. Look at that bass. Oh my God. How do I follow that up? I mean, we caught my PB on that one. Let's go with another one that shouldn't be a surprise, especially if you watch my channel. I've caught quite a few bass on these baits right here. We've got the Senkos, the stick baits. These are the Yum Dingers. The Senko's just the original bait, and then every other bait company made their own version of the Senko, and so this is their version. I caught a 7.5 pounder, 7 pound, 8 ounce with this bad boy right here. I've caught a lot of big fish on a 5-inch Yum Dinger. I'll show that one at the end of this, but I want to talk about 3 Senkos in particular. And we're going to, I mean, black, I've already told you colors. Black and blue, June bug color. Those are my 2 top colors if I had any colors. But then you get into, if you are going to go green pumpkin, I like green pumpkin with some red flake. That's a nice color. I do like, you know, throwing some chartreuse on some stuff. Actually, Gambler, they have their garlic flavored versions of Senko. They're called Ace. And actually, that's what we're going to talk about next, is the 7-inch Fat Ace. So this is still in the Senko family, but this is a 7-inch one. So I've only had about 2 packs of these baits. And I think like 4, it comes with like 4 or 5 count. Okay, so it comes with like 5 in a pack, all right? So it's like $6 or $7, and it comes with 5 baits. You're like, man, that's a lot. Okay, I've used 2 packs of baits. Okay, so there's 5, and there's still 3 here. So I've used 7 baits, and I swear to you, I've caught like 4 or 6 pounders on 7 of these. On 7 of these, dude. I should have been using these sooner. I love these little, but I haven't caught like over 7 pounds on it yet. I'll show you one that I caught with this as well. So you know what? Let me show you a big bass I caught with this one right here. This big bass, 7.5 pounds.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening?
Oh, baby.
Damn.
25. These guys put me on.
Yeah.
Jeez. Monster.
Yeah.
Look how big he is. Woo!
Yeah.
All right, so we caught that with that one. Now let me show you a big bass that I caught with this one right here.
It's freaking monster, dude.
Yeah.
Brandon, Florida, baby. Freaking tank.
All right, and then we have the 6-inch Bass Pro Shops Senko. Now what's great about these is how many come in this? 16. There's 16 in a pack. So it's not as big as that 7-inch Senko, but it's noticeably bigger than that 5-inch Senko. And it comes with 16 in a pack, and it's like less than the Gambler Fat Ace, the 7-inch Fat Ace. So this is a great deal, and I've caught some big bass on this, above 4 pounds. I've caught quite a few already, and I've just got introduced to these particular Senkos. All right, now we're getting into some territory. I don't know if I have like a true giant caught on this bait. But a 10-inch worm. You can't go wrong with a worm in Florida, okay? And these are moving worms. I really like the Mondo worm. I know I have, you know, I probably have 103+ pounders caught on this. I probably have at least footage of a dozen of those. Maybe I'll show you one of those. I can find one of those, a decent sized catch on this.
Oh, it's a good one, guys. Oh, it's a freaking good one. Oh, dude. Caught a massive fish right near this gator. Oh, come over here. Come over here. Don't you dare come off. All right. Tank. Absolute tank.
And then I do want to mention that I do like using smaller worms. I don't believe I have a giant caught on the old 7-inch kicker curl. I might.
Yeah.
Okay, I see the bass.
Got him.
Perfect.
First cast. Oh,
There's a big old bass over there.
got him.
Perfect.
Oh, she's fighting me. Oh, it's a big bass, y'all.
Perfect.
Oh, pulling. Oh, look at that fish. That's a tank right there.
This is a good little bait if you need to downsize that worm. And then, of course, Gambler, you know, they make their 10-inch. And that's a June bug. That's a nice June bug, too. That is a pretty June bug. It really has some green sparkles. It has a dark purple to it. But in that tail, that purple shines really nice because it's thinner in that tail. And then I can smell it from here. I don't even need to open the bag. That garlic smells, whoo, it's strong. So the bass will munch on that. Gambler, y'all. Gambler. All right, so those are the ribbon tail worms, the 10-inch worms. I had to put that in the mix. And then I don't even know how many baits were. We might go over 10 baits. I'm gonna mention this real quick before I talk about the next two baits. Swim jig, you know. Swim jig, you know, just swim and jig. I mean, this is a Guggen. I don't know what Grass Hero is what they call it. And then this is just a Strike King swim and jig, tour grade. You just swim a jig, man. I don't think I have footage. I don't fish with these enough. I usually throw a chatterbait, but I do need to fish a little more subtle because when they're not biting that chatterbait, I switch to something like a speed worm. I go really finesse, but truth is you're going to get some bigger bites on a jig typically than, you know, a speed worm. So this is one of those baits that I need to fish more, and the next two baits are associated with this. So I just want to mention this first. I don't have a footage of me catching a giant in the last year on that. That's for sure. All right, here we go. Swim baits, y'all. Swim baits. And I got a few to talk about. The little 4-inch Kitech. These suckers are nice. I don't have footage of me catching one of these because I need to get better at my setup. I think I fish these too fast. I need to switch to a slower reel, and I'm going to do some experimenting in the near future. But I catch a lot of fish on these particular ones, so I just felt like it's worth mentioning. But these next 3, these I for sure have caught giants on. This I've caught, tons of bass over 3 pounds. And I put, these are the sort of baits you can put on the back of your swim jigs and on the back of your chatterbaits. These are what I put on the back of my chatterbaits. I don't really put crawls on the back of my chatterbaits. I pretty much exclusively fish these on the back of my chatterbaits. They're cheap, they're good, they work, they got some really good colors. Ozark Trail, that's the Walmart brand. Shutter Swimmers, these are money. Gambler, they make some great colors for Florida. Gold Rush isn't going to be, well, this isn't Gold Rush. This is 49er. Gold Rush is, it's a darker color, which is one of my favorite colors, if not my favorite color, by Gambler. I like that June bug, too. That June bug is nice. and then I really do like the Gold Rush. I keep calling it Gold Rush, the 49er. I know it's called 49er, I swear. All right, but the Big Easies, these aren't a secret. You just roll these over the grass, and they kind of work as kind of a speed worm. You can work them the same way. They kind of just buzz up the water, and you'll see those big bass come through the grass to come and chase this down. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight. And then you have the Little Easies, and this is their Tennessee Shad color, another good color. And so there's 4 different swim baits for you. You'll catch them on a swim bait. If you live in Florida, I would invest in all of these baits that we're talking about here. No joke. Not even joking. And I don't know if I have like a true giant. Maybe I have a decent one caught on the Ozark.
Oh my goodness, I'm walking over there so I can release it in the water. Oh, it's heavy.
And I used to catch them really good on the Big Easies, but I haven't really been throwing them this last year. I've been kind of experimenting. I used to throw Gambler baits ton before I started filming videos. Then when I started filming videos, I started kind of experimenting with other stuff, and I kind of got away from Gambler. But I'm letting y'all know, I'm a big Gambler believer. They are the shiz niz. All right, we're moving on to another one. Christie Crawl. So as you can see here, the packaging in Yum is really cheap. Okay, so it rips up really easy, and I put these on little hangers, so I had to make that out of tape. So this isn't in its package because their bags rip up so easily, but you're not paying anything for the bait. So it's a trade that's worth trading for. But if you're wondering what this is, it's not in its package. I literally just caught a giant on one of these, the Christie Crawl. And I also think it's worth mentioning the Kraken Crawl by Guggenbaits Jr. They have a really good smell, good taste. It's like a squid shrimp taste smell, and I also use the junior size Kraken Crawl. They're like an inch smaller, I believe. They're a pretty good bit smaller, and you will get munched on some crawdads and stuff. And dude, these baits, these Guggen ones, they're on the expensive side, and these are on the cheap side. These will still catch you bass, so I do use these a lot. But at the same time, I'd be lying if I didn't say I love these baits. I do. I really do love these baits. And the bass love them, no joke. Like, I think I was fishing with the Kraken Crawl Jr., and it's a dink, so I won't put it in this video. But I chucked this bait out, and I'm swimming it, and this little bass comes up and nails it and rips it off. And I'm like, oh no! And I'm looking down at him, no joke. He eats this right in front of me, and he stares at me. And he's just looking at me like, please, give me another one. That was delicious. And no joke, I was like, this guy's just looking right at me. Like, he's just blah, blah. It's in one of my videos. And so I'm talking like, he's blah, blah. And I'm pulling it out, and I'm taking the bait out. And it's taking a full whole minute to put this back on. And he's just staring at me like, please, feed me another one. And I toss it in there, and then I catch this little bass on that. So it has a good taste and smell to it for sure. And but this right here, I'll show you what I just caught with this. All right, so I caught a giant with that. And just like the swim baits, you can put these on the back of swim jigs and on the back of chatterbaits. I don't, but, you know, it's an option. So it pairs along with those things. Whew, we have one more bait to talk about. But I will also say that, you know, depending on what you're fishing with, you might want to go round bend worm hook. You might want to go extra wide gap hook. Most of these baits, I prefer the extra wide gap hook because there's some pretty thick vegetation. You can bury that extra wide gap hook. You can skin hook it. You can also bury it in there. And the round bend hook, it's going to come up more easily. But if you're fishing more open water and you're fishing with a thinner bait, a worm, or a crawl, you might want to go with the old round bend. And I prefer the Gamakatsu hooks. A lot of people like really thick hooks. These are a little bit flimsier, but what ends up happening when they're flimsier like this is you can set the hook well without setting the hook hard. So you feel a bass and you go, oh, there's a bass, and you don't do a big hook set, you'll still get them. You know, unless it's a giant bass. You need to set the hook hard with a giant bass, whether you got a big hook, small hook, whatever. You need to set the hook. But, you know, if you think these fish are too flimsy, I caught my PB on this. So it's not too flimsy. You just got to have a big enough hook. There's a little tip for you. You might want to use a bigger hook. So here's going to be a little surprise one right here. This, again, it's a yum bait. It's not in its package because their packaging sucks. But you don't pay anything. You know, $10 for 30 of these. That's a great deal. You know, I have a June bug in here. I have red, flake, and black. I was doing like an experiment video where I was trying to fish with red lures. And then I have green pumpkin, I have June bug. I think I already said that. And these are great. Black and blue is another great color. These Yum Mighty Worms, they float. They're floating worms. So this is a little secret for you. If you don't want to buzz over lily pads, over grass, you want to be a little more subtle, but you want a big profile, you want to draw in those big bass, bring that sucker over them. Dude, you'll get hammered. I don't know if I have footage, but I've definitely caught some giant bass running this over lily pads, running over grass, all of the above. I've even put this on a shaky head and caught some nice fish. I don't think I have footage of catching a giant on this, but it 100% was one of the first baits I thought of outside of like those top 5 that are just like everyone knows about in Florida. This was one of those baits that I immediately thought about because I have caught some big bass on this. Okay, now there's some guys. We're doing a bonus right here. I think that's 10 baits already. Might even be 11 baits I talked about. We're gonna talk about a bonus one, right? I don't have footage, but a lipless.
Oh, got one right here. That's a good one. Oh my goodness. Get up out of there.
Dude, that's a good bass. All right, got ourselves a bucket mouth. That's a football right there. That's a good bass.
Good old lipless crankbait. You know, there's guys out here that swear by the square bills and other crankbaits other than lipless. I don't really do deep cranking. There's not really a lot of deep water in Florida, to be honest. But people talk about it quite a bit. That's something I want to add into my repertoire. Maybe I'll do this same video a year from now, 2 years from now or something, and I'll have a completely different list. Maybe, you know, a square bill will be on my list. I used to love throwing a small square bill in ponds and just, you know, running a shallow square bill. And I used to catch a lot of small bass. Now that I don't really finesse fish and fish with spinning combos as much, I fish with pretty much bait casters exclusively. I don't really throw square bills anymore. Oh, I did catch a giant on a square bill though. I did catch one in the last year on a square bill, but I was fishing that kind of like topwater. I don't think I have a video of a lipless though, but I catch a lot of bass and every once in a while you get a big one to slam you. You catch numbers. I've caught more bass in a short amount of time than any other bait with a lipless. So great for numbers, and one of those will be a big bass eventually. So I feel like this is a great honorable mention. Crankbaits are great. They're very underutilized in Florida. So I'll show you that giant bass I caught on a square bill, I suppose, since I don't think I have footage of something with the lipless, even though I catch a ton of fish on a lipless. But I will show you that now.
Watch this. Watch this. Oh! Got him! Got him! Got him! Oh! Look at that freaking bass! Holy cow! Oh! Holy cow!
Can you see this bass? What? Oh my goodness! What is this thing?
So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know by hitting that like button and hit that subscribe button and making the red button turn gray so you can be notified every time I post a new video by hitting that notification bell. You know how it goes. All right, we're out. Peace.